Beautiful and wonderful people out there, wherever you are, physically and emotionally. Today, we'll be sharing with you our perspective on self-care, learning to take care of yourself. S.N.C welcomes you to another session with us. Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody. Happy New Year. Thank you for joining us. We're very happy to have you guys here. Today's our first one, but our official first self-nurture culture introduction to self-care. We thought it would be a very good time to introduce this to people, especially because of the climate of what's going on in the world. And honestly, because Christmas has just gone by, and I'm probably very sure that everybody has had their fair share of indulgences. So and how to deal with them after is something we'll touch on. But the way we're going to structure this is we're going to first of all share our experience with everybody briefly, how we came to self-nurture culture and sharing it with the world, and then we'll ask anybody that has any questions you have. We'll be very happy to answer them, and in regarding health and our schedules and anything else you can think about. Emo, would you like to say anything?
Welcome, everybody. Happy New Year. And this session is about an introduction to self-care. We're briefly going to touch on what the philosophies of S.N.C are, and how we started our journey towards self-nurture culturing ourselves. So the path we took, the decisions we made, the realizations we came across, and the decisions that helped us get here. So with no further ado, I'll let Tolu start off.
Yes. So for anybody that really knows me, knows I've told the story so many times, but I never get tired of telling this story, for the simple fact that it's a teaching story. It's been a very intense teaching, learning period. So over the last 14 years for me, Mola and I have been through this journey together. But for me, the bulk of my journey started 14 years ago, which was about almost 15 now, which was a month before my 30th birthday. And I started having epileptic seizures. The doctors didn't know what was wrong with me. Eventually, I came home, and my grandfather, may he rest in peace, had someone rustle up something for me. So after about a couple of months, I finished taking it, but I never had another seizure. So I thought, oh, wow, I'm better. And I went back. All this happened in Nigeria. And I went back to London around 2008 and to continue living my life like most people do. They get better from being ill, and then they just go back into the same behavioral patterns that caused the illness in the first place, which is what I did, like everybody else. And I went back into the same behavioral patterns, and I started falling ill again. This time I wasn't having epileptic seizures, but I was, having terrible. I did have asthma as a kid, but then it was never so severe. It became so severe. I started getting bloated tummies. It was, it was just not a very pretty time, until we eventually started searching. I mean, it got to a point where, to be honest, we couldn't do anything else. Every 6 o'clock, my tummy would just go into a big ball. What I did during the day, and that was the end of it. It was incredibly hard to sleep. I mean, it was a health nightmare. But what was beautiful was we had certain tools available to us, and we utilized these, and we utilized them and used them to find people who were already healing. I mean, because we were in the health system, we were taking all the pharmaceuticals, I was on all sorts of drugs. I mean, I wasn't sleeping. I was waking up 5-6 times to go to the bathroom. At what age? So, but we found out that there are certain people who were actually getting results, who were actually, using, things that we couldn't fathom, that we'd overlooked, like food and natural things that were natural everyday things that were around us, and we followed that path. And quite honestly, after having epileptic seizures, and then going back to London, and then developing what I eventually found out was colon cancer and having chest infections. It was, I won't even go into all the details of what was happening, because what's most important to me right now is to highlight the fact that there were people actually healing people from all these things that we were suffering from without pharmaceuticals. So I embarked on this journey. I didn't just to say, I didn't just find these guys and say, oh, well, someone said they're healing people and take their word for it. I listened, I watched all their researches. I mean, we followed them consistently. It was our daily, everyday job, and we would wake up in the morning and just, since I couldn't really do anything, I'd just spend most of my time sitting in front of the computer researching one thing from the other about these new practices and comparing them to what certain doctors were saying. And then we were weeding out all these different types of information that was all over the place. And eventually we found out we were able to narrow the whole wellness experience into a few things, into a few vital things. In between, in detail, all those few things have a lot of variations, but on a broader spectrum, we realize that certain things like remineralization of the body, which is giving the body its tools, we realize that every time what we called a dis-ease or a sickness was simply your body doing a natural periodical detox. But usually when our body struggles with it, we call it a dis-ease because it doesn't have the minerals or the nutrients that it needs. We realized that oxygen was very overlooked, and because we don't have to consciously breathe, we don't take time to breathe. We found out that we're dehydrated more often than not, and all these things I named on their own is enough to cause a terrible disease or heart problem. Using natural things around us, and I attest to you that 3 days ago, I said to my mom, I said, I feel like celebrating, Mom. I said, because I feel like this is a major achievement, a big deal in my life that has held me back and caused, all sorts of upsets in my life, and that required my full attention. And I gave it to it, and God willing, I came out the other side, not just better and healthier, and at a time when the world is terrified with all the things that are around them, I'm at ease. I feel at ease. I appeal to the people around me to be at ease, because there is more out there for us to use to take care of ourselves than we can imagine. And they are simple, everyday things. Mo, please take over.
Yes, thank you for that. My journey was a bit different from Tolu's. Mine started from a very early age, from as young as I can remember. It was hospital this, hospital that, hospital this, hospital that. And it was mostly my lungs and my tummy. I just didn't know. I didn't know anything. I became instinctive with my health. I found out that I couldn't do a lot of the things the people around me were doing. So my solution was to find my way. Literally find my way. I remember being in secondary school, in boarding school at one point, and this nurse was about to give me the injection for wheezing. And I was like, wait, do you know you're supposed to find a vein first? At that age, I didn't know why it got people so upset about me, especially the nurses and doctors. They used to get upset about me because I always questioned them. Do you know what you're doing? Because I'm here one minute, you're telling me I should be okay, I should be fine, but I'm not. Nothing's changing. I'm here again and again and again and again, and it's tiresome. So I decided to take control for myself. I started looking after my own food, started looking after the things I could control. The plates that I was given, I actually started cooking so I could cook for myself. And the journey started from there. But unfortunately for me, it became one of maintenance. So I was just doing the things that would get me by, not the things that would get me better, which is when it comes to self-care, taking care of the symptoms is very hazardous. We need to find a way to actually look at the underlying cause of the ailments and deal with those. Luckily for me, we're able to find ways of doing that with the ingredients we find all around us every day in the kitchen. I remember once we're such in a poorly state. We're living together in London at the time. And after every single meal, we'll need to buy trebons just to get rid of the bloating. It'll be fart this, burp this, the brr, brr. All of a sudden one day there are no trebons to be gotten. What are we going to do? This is unbearable. You use the inhaler, it doesn't get through because you're that blocked. And we looked and I thought there must be a remedy in this house. Something we could use that will help us. I walked into the kitchen and I saw some ginger there. I cut a slice for myself. I put it in my mouth and the relief I felt, I was like, oh my God, why have I been buying trebles all this time? Yo, TJ, take some of this. He has it. And that was the beginning. We've never looked back since then. It's always been, there's always the solution. Nature that we're a part of has given us every single thing we need to take care of ourselves. No matter what situation we find ourselves in, be it dire health situations, because one of my favorite philosophies about self-care is the body is only going in one or other direction. It's either getting better or getting worse. Now, even if it's getting better, you might not feel like it's getting better because of the detoxes you're going through. But your body is either only moving towards comfort or disease. So you're either getting more relaxed, more at ease with yourself, or you're falling more into dis-ease, which is where we're trying to show people that you can move away from this, and you can move away from this with the things you have around you, with natural stuff, with plant-based stuff, with the way you think about your body, the way you actually approach your everyday life, the habits you incorporate into your everyday lives, how you wake up, how you sleep, the kind of movement you incorporate, the kind of activity your everyday life has. You know, let's put it this way. We all have different roles. We all have different jobs. Sometimes we have to sit down for 8 hours a day straight because we're at work and we're doing this. Maybe we get up every now and again. There are ways and things that can be done to help you negate the effect that has on your body. Now, some people are lucky enough, they're up and down. Now, they don't have a problem of sitting and the detriment sitting causes on the human body. But if you do, then you have to find your own solution. Now, self-care and self-nurture culture is all about helping everybody find their own solution that's unique to their own unique self, because we're all unique selves. And that's the starting point. Realizing that you're unique and what you need, as much as there might be a general rollout that helps everybody, the way you approach it has to be for you, has to be designed to your own specific situation, to your own specific needs, and to your desired results. Yeah, I think that's exactly how I'll put it. To your desired results, because if you can't breathe, you can't think of anything. You can't think of making money. You can't think of going out with your friends. You can't think of anything. So everybody's issues, everybody's concerns are different. And the way we approach it determines the kind of results we get. I think that's one of the biggest things I can impact anybody with. The way we approach the situation we find ourselves has a big determination on the results we're going to get. Now, with me in particular, asthma has been my biggest problem. Along the way, I got finding out that my asthma, dealing with my lungs wasn't the answer for my asthma. I had to go deeper into my tummy, which was where the trouble really was. But then I'm thinking, but when I can't breathe, that's my lungs. Because my tummy is clogged up, I won't be able to breathe. It's the anatomy of the human body. So instead of dealing with the symptoms, you look a bit deeper, you step out and look at the bigger picture a little bit more. And you'll see that there's actually a simpler solution there for you. It's a journey. It's not a quick fix, and it's not tedious. It's just something you have to do for yourself. You have to learn, and you have to be in tune with your body. You have to learn how to get in tune with your body, and how to find the solutions you need. Where you go, how to discern between all the information out there. These are the things that we offer you at Self-Nurture Culture. So at this point, I'd like to tell people to start getting ready any questions they might have with regards to any issues or with regards to anything they've heard or say, and we'll take it from there. So Lou, if you have anything else to add?
Yeah, the only thing I'd like to add is that we approach this whole our whole process is a mental and physical one, because and the mental aspect is in regards to our personal habits, because our habits, they create our lifestyle, and our lifestyle is in direct, is directly responsible for the quality of our life. So if you, whatever your habits are, whatever your general lifestyle is, will eventually tell in the quality of life that you have. So if you're someone that likes to exercise a lot, then you'll look fit, and but doesn't, I'll go into that later, because we separate the difference between being fit and physically fit and actually being healthy, and there's a big difference, but I just wanted to point that out. So your daily habits, equate to your lifestyle, and your lifestyle is directly responsible for the quality of life you have. So if you do and what we offer you are behavioral behavioral patterns, and so it's not just go and drink this, go and do this. It's also, cultivate these patterns, and you cultivate them at your own pace. Like Malo mentioned before, everybody's pace, everybody's body is very different, and we like to take each person according to what they're going through. The other thing we like to add is, in our journey, the major thing we found out is the cause of all illness. Anybody that knows anything about Dr. Sebi will be happy to hear that, yes, we did go even through Dr. Sebi's things, and a bunch of other people as well, but what they all had in common, that doctors are finding out now. I saw a video recently of on one of the health groups of a doctor, this African doctor, who went into the lungs to see all the little mucus that were embedded in the lungs, and that's the cause of all disease. So most of the time right now, if anyone's having any lung problems, it's because there's mucus trapped in there that needs to be expelled. Same thing with all the other aspects of the body. And here at Self-Nurture Culture, we show you how to go into the elimination process, how to keep up your strength, and how to do this periodically and maintain your well-being. So I just thought I'd just throw that in. So, like Molly said, if anybody has any questions, we're very happy to answer them right now.
Yeah, please.
So, question time.
Use the chat function and send us your questions. Or if, use the chat function, send us your questions, and let's have a discussion about it.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Well, in the meantime,
unless we have any questions. Okay, so let's just continue with the whole story.
Yes.
Now, what I was saying about, so if anyone has any questions, we'll be happy to just put them down. We'll be happy to. Good evening, everybody. Yeah, so as I was saying about the philosophy, some of the philosophies that we've followed. So we've followed the remineralization philosophy, where you're remineralizing your body. The popular science premise is to do vitamins and whatnot, but I liked the fact that remineralization uses minerals rather than vitamins. And on another level, I would love to discuss the difference and why I feel it's more beneficial, but we don't have that type of time. Why it's more beneficial to use minerals rather than vitamins. But then the human body is made up of, excuse me, sorry, we are in Nigeria, and NEPA did what it does.
Yes.
So,
you'll excuse me 1 minute, I'll just quickly deal with that.
yeah, so as I was saying, so the remineralization process for me is a better process, is a better perspective, a better way of looking at things, because the human body is made up of 102 minerals, and since it's made up of 102 minerals, each mineral has a major part to play. So if our body goes into detox and is doing something that, so if something's going on in your lungs, then there's certain minerals that are necessary, and there's certain foods that have these minerals in abundance. So I'll share something that happened to me recently. So recently, with the whole COVID thing going around. Okay, let me step back just a few years ago. In 2017, while I was going through this, I went to Portugal to do a course, and I was taking a lot of particular herbs that were supposed to, help my lungs. I was there for 3 weeks. It was an intensive course, and I wanted to make sure that I was at my best performance. It was an expensive course too, so I wanted to make sure I was getting my money's value, my money's worth. And so I was taking these herbs. Some of them were just elderberry and a bunch of other stuff. And about 2 weeks into it, everyone started getting this cold. They started getting this, everyone started sniffling and sneezing left, right, and center. I didn't really think much of it until, instead of getting the cold, because of the mineralization that I was doing at the time, which was focusing on my lungs, we've got light. Yeah, so because of the mineralization that I was doing, that was focusing on my lungs, instead of getting a cold like everyone else, my lungs started to expel, latent mucus that was inside of it, where, and it was really some really serious stuff. That one morning I woke up with a mouthful, and eventually I realized that it happened around the time there was some kind of bug going around and everyone was catching it. And instead of catching it, it triggered off an immune response, which now eliminated stuff that needed eliminating from my chest in the first place. I bring that up now because a few months ago, so it's been about 10 weeks now that I've been counting anyway, or that I've been doing certain therapies. But 12 weeks ago, I started drinking a lot of water, and someone pointed it out to me and said, "Whoa, you just finished within about 6 hours. I finished 12 750 milliliter bottles of water." And it was very surprising because I wasn't even taking that many. I wasn't going to the toilet. I wasn't taking that many peas. So, I didn't think much of it. I just thought, okay, something dehydrated. And I know the process, so sometimes that happens when something dehydrated in your body wants to eliminate itself. And so I woke up the next morning with a big, massive lump on my chest. It was really massive in the middle of my left chest, and I could feel it, at my back on the right hand side. It was, very uncomfortable and very dire because being that I had asthma for so long, and mind you, that time in Portugal, after that, I hadn't had any kind of serious asthma problems except from a few wheezing here and there. I hadn't had anything major, and then this happened. And I couldn't breathe. So, my natural response, which is what we do at Self-Nurture Culture, is once there's an emergency, keep the gut free. So so the first thing I did was stop eating, and nice to have you back. So the first thing I did was stop eating and start to, take juices just to, keep my nutrition up, but keep my stomach completely free and, clear so I can breathe. I eventually continued my research and asked around for certain types of herbs because I'm in Nigeria. If I was in London, I knew exactly what to use. Being that I've been in Nigeria experimenting with plants and herbs for the last almost about 2.5 years, I had a few people I could go to and ask, I'll usually use this, but this is what do you have as a replacement? And they recommended a few things, and I went into this really intense therapy, and it's been clearing my chest. I still have a little bit of a knot here, but it's about 10% or maybe 20% of what it used to be. But what I'm pointing out is that sometimes we have these immune responses, which we call disease or an illness, but it's really our body trying to detox. And then it breaks down trying to do the job it wants to do, that it's built to do, that it's meant to do, but without the tools to do them. Who breaks down a house? We want to demolish a house. Who does it with the bare fists? We get the machines to do that. We get, trailers and wrecking balls, but we don't do these things with our bare fists. There's a tool for everything. There's a job for every organ. For it to fulfill its purpose, it needs certain tools, and we realize this, and we use this philosophy to look into certain plants and herbs and minerals and whatnot. So that's my story.
On the platform now, Merck,
yes.
What kind of diet would you recommend for issues with postnasal drip? Now that's an excess. I've looked it up. That's an excess buildup of mucus in the airwaves that causes coughing regularly, especially through the night. Now, I'll let you start with that. What kind of diet would you recommend for this?
Okay, there are quite a few things that I would recommend for that. Now, at Self-Nurture Culture, as much as we love to tell you what to take, we also like to quote Hippocrates that, giving you the responsibility, which is something we all do, the culture of the world today, which is giving our responsibility for our health away to the doctors. So I would give you a few points that should give you a general idea of what to research. Now, like Malone just mentioned, it means there's a lot of mucus in the airwaves. What I would usually use is ginger tea, probably with some cloves. Just some ginger and cloves tea. Boil that and drink that regularly. That should really ease that off. However, that will just create relief. It will expel some stuff, but it will just create mostly relief at the moment. Later on, depending on where you are, you can contact us directly. Then we can advise you on what to get, depending on what country in the world you are. Then we can tell you what to get there, what's local to that place that you can use for yourself. So for now, just use some ginger and... Pardon?
No, finish what you were saying.
No, I did finish. I just said for now, just boil some ginger and cloves and drink that regularly, 2 to 3 times a day.
I'd like to add, with regards to the diet bit, what kind of foods are you eating now? Now, the mucus, right, is caused mainly because of excess inflammation. Now, there are particular foods that particular bodies react to, and these cause inflammation. Now, let me start this by saying, everybody's body reacts to inflammation differently. So, your body will store information where it thinks it's best or safest for you. Some people, that's in the thighs. Unfortunately, for some people, that's close to some organs. But with postnatal drip, it seems like that inflammation is being stored in the airwaves, or it doesn't have a way of leaving the airwaves. So I'll also say stay away from dairy, if you eat a lot of dairy at the moment. Stay away from dairy, stay away from fresh milk, stay away from cheese, especially cheese. Because I know I used to love my cheese, but I know the benefit my life got from it when I actually just started gradually cut it out of your system. Because if you move too fast, there's a chance that you're going to fall back, and that's going to be harsher on your body. So just gradually cut it out of your system. But as Tolu said, message us privately and we'll go a bit into more detail about your diet, what kind of diet you're on the moment, and where we think you should go. Okay, to the next question. How did you deal with the bloating you said you experienced?
Wow, yeah, that's a very good question, Auntie. Well, like we said, one of the first things, like anything else, the first thing we did was change our diet. So we changed our diet by increasing our fruit intake. So we spent, and then we also spent a lot more time fasting during the day. So we did a lot of intermittent fasting. We ate a lot more fruits, and then we changed our major meals. So we reduced our grains over time, and we ate a lot more greens, a lot more raw foods as well. And that, funny enough, that reduces your bloating dramatically. So fruits like watermelon, and then having some green juice. So, we'll be sending out, if anybody's interested, we'll arrange for how to get our green juice recipe to you. And so green juice recipes, like, just the more chlorophyll you get into your system, the less bloated you'll be. And those were the things. So mostly we added these patterns into our routine. And then ginger tea. I know ginger is a miracle. It's one of those miracle things. Ginger tea is great for anything that has to do with air. So, when it has to do with your airwaves or bloating, anything to do with air, I recommend ginger. Now, if that for now, those are the things I'll recommend now, because all the other things I can only recommend based on individual basis.
In addition to the ginger tea, I'll say actually chew some ginger. So with your morning water, hydrate. Yes, you have to hydrate properly. To get rid of bloating, you have to hydrate very well. That's about drinking 3 liters of water, at least 3 liters of water every day. And the best way to do that, in my experience, is to start your day with a liter of water on an empty stomach. But yes, actually, apart from the ginger tea, chew some ginger. So with your first water in the morning, make sure you chew some ginger. Chew some ginger, eat the fiber. Then continue with your water and continue with your day. And have a wonderful day, I can tell you. Were you going to add something, Tolu?
Yeah, I said, depending on where you are, but no matter where you are, hot water in the morning is a godsend. It steams the colon and it redistributes water to the whole body, to all your organs. So, especially those that are in cold countries right now. When I was in London, I know this is, the winter period, and this is January, so it's really bitter cold. We will just sit down and we'll sit around and we just drink hot water. And people look at us and think, no lemon, no honey, no, just hot water. And you'll be amazed at how great it can be in the cold.
Okay. So we've got another question here from, now this is a 3-in-1 question. So I'll start with the first one, which is, how efficacious is it to detoxify one's body by drinking hot lemon juice? And I'm thinking, is this at any time of the day or first thing in the morning?
Well, I would say hot lemon juice generally is very good for you. I usually prefer things like this in the morning on an empty tummy, because then it has much more space to work, especially in the morning when you've been into the bathroom, your tummy, your bowels are empty, so they're not processing any food. So it can use the minerals in that to do its work. Now, I have a personal preference. I know a lot of people like lemon, but I have a personal preference for key limes, the really small key limes. I find them to be more effective. I mean, lemon has its place, and I do recommend lemon a lot of times, but I usually prefer key limes. They have more of an alkalinizing effect on the whole body. So I just thought I'd throw that in there. Publicist for key limes. So second question.
The only thing I'll add to that is hot lemon. Lemon has the ability to deal with inflammation, but it also has a dehydrating effect on you long term. So if you're going to be drinking hot lemon, make sure, and I can't emphasize this enough, make sure you hydrate properly. So have periods of time where you're drinking just water. Green juice too would help. It'll help balance the effect of the hot lemon. Now, the hot lemon is very good for detoxification. Very good. But you should also know that it has another side to it if you overdo it. So make sure you stay hydrated and make sure you have your green juices with your hot lemon. Well, not with your hot lemon, but if you're drinking hot lemon, have green juices sometime during the day. Just incorporate it into your daily routine. Now, the second question is it healthy to administer enemas to oneself regularly?
Yeah, I know a lot of people, it's really funny because throughout my whole journey, as much as I've come across enemas is something I never actually did myself. We never actually ever did enemas. A lot of my friends, people that we were on similar journeys together, whom when I started the journey, I was asking questions about things, did enemas, and it was just, I just never really got around to trying it, but I know people that do it regularly, and it does have its benefits. However, I tend to prefer, and I'm sure I tend to prefer letting my organs do the work. Because the enemas, it's a hack, especially if you're blocked or experiencing some clogged symptoms. Yeah, by all means, if it's pre-emergency, as I would put it, pre-emergency, when things aren't just going like you want, you might have to do that once in a while. I don't think it's something you will need regularly, depending on where your body is. Preferably, I would recommend certain types of plants and herbs and different treatments that get the organs themselves to do the job itself. It's the same thing I say about colonic irrigation as well, because someone asked me the other day about colonic irrigation, and I know a lot of people who have gone through this, who have done it, and it's been life-saving for them. So not for a second will I even knock it. But like I said, it's more of a quick fix, and it goes contrary to the way the system works. Now, for colonic irrigation, when they stick the tube, the jet tube, up our ass, and then to flush out all the dirt and break up all the hardened plaque in our colon, that's life-saving sometimes, people do need that. So I'm not going to say, but what I would say is, and I never had to do any of those, what I would say is that there are plants and foods that help your intestines get rid of that plaque and that mucus in a natural way. Now, when you do colonic irrigation, it goes the opposite way it goes contrary to the movement of the large intestine. So it's where things are supposed to come out, things are going in. So, your ascending colon is on your right. Your descending colon is on your left. So your food goes into your tummy, which is above here, through your small intestines, down to your ascending colon, which works much slowly because of gravity, and then rises up with water, which is why we need water a lot, and then comes all the way down to the descending colon, and then pushes out. Now, when we do colonic irrigation, it goes in, breaks all the stuff in the opposite direction. So it's really never going to suck everything out. It's going to break a lot of stuff that's going to get stuck in little nicks and cracks, and but it's still better than nothing. So I hope that answers your question.
My take on the situation will be this. The human body is a system, a very wonderful biological system. But it's a closed system with a bit of opening. And that opening comes in the way of our nose and our mouth. Now, we use this for air and for solids. Our mouth, if you consider it like the input side of the system, and our anus is the output side of the system. So if you stick input in the output side of the system, you're going to create a bit of, let's say, confusion for the body over time. So my preference, right, I've never tried colonic irrigation. I've never done enemas. I won't say I never thought of doing an enema, but I never had to because I found other solutions. My solution, especially because, and I can understand why people have to do it, because sometimes you have jetty or pile and you're so blocked up there, nothing is moving. I'm surprised they can even get the pipe up in there because nothing. But the truth is, if you should do it and pay attention and allow your system to work gradually, feeding yourself the same things, staying away from the foods that are causing the blockage. Because no matter what system or method you apply, if you don't stop what's causing the blockage, nothing's going to really happen. So you have to have a period of abstinence where you let your body deal with that. Now, I'd like to throw this out there. The body, as I said earlier on, is either going one direction or the other, either to or from. So when it comes to digesting, your body is almost always digesting. And the more clogged and the more backed up you are, the more digesting it has to do. If your body is digesting, your body cannot be healing. Now, those are the two sides of that coin. It's either working to digest food to provide the body with energy, or it's healing the body, which means it's using the energy it has already and using that to make repairs. So if your body is digesting, your body can't be healing. So what to do is stay away from food for a while. Drink juices. Drink things that would not cause your body to grind. So once it's not going through that grinding action, it's easier on your body. And you realize that you start having a bit more effect, you start having a bit more results towards your desired, towards what it is you want to achieve. So there are other things you can use to help your system go. Now, don't get me wrong. Colonic irrigation, as Tolu said, I know has saved some lives. So as a one-time thing, as an emergency thing, I wouldn't say don't do it. But as a recurring pattern, I'll say you have to check yourself. You have to know the long-term effects it's going to have on your system, the long-term effects it's going to have on the way your system is supposed to be working. But yes, that's my take on colonic irrigation. Is it good to maintain a healthy body? Once in a blue moon, once in a while. But there are other ways to flush out that blockage without compromising your other systems and doing it safely. Yes, everybody's different. Some people will have to, as I say, some people will have to stay away from food and go gradually, gently, because you don't want to use too much force, because that force will then spread out to other systems, and we don't want that. We want to do everything gradually and get ourselves to our desired goal. I hope that answers all of Auntie Ada's questions. Now, Uncle Jimmy put something here with similar to the lemon. Oh yeah, the hot lemon. But yeah, I think we've covered that. He has another question. Yes, after the detoxification, do you have juices to re-energize? Yes, I'll say take juices. But please try to make sure they're as natural juices as possible. As natural as possible. That's why we said take the green juice, because this will now provide your cells with everything it needs to re-energize itself from a cellular level. Now, when you come from the cellular level, it's easier for your body to now take back control of itself. But if you take juices that are packed with sugars and chemicals, you're going to have to go through the whole detoxification process again. But this time is the cleaning and the detoxification you've done. Now you're going to have to go a bit deeper. Consider it like a tree. Now you've just taken this tree and you've uprooted it, and you want to plant it back down. If you put that tree back down, it's going to have to grow deeper roots just to be able to keep itself there. This is how toxins too behave in the human body. They will need to, if you've cleaned yourself and then you put things that aren't going to help you go in the direction you want to go, those ailments that you just thought you got rid of are going to sink themselves deeper into your system. So if you, after the detoxification, if you want to take juices, make sure they're as natural as possible. I hope that covers that question. Is there any other question from anybody else? Okay, if that's the case, I'll invite everybody to have a quick look at the S.N.C website, and we'll talk a bit more about what we do. Now, Self-Nurture Culture was born from our journey, the journey we took together and individually to get to our desired goal of optimal health. Now, as you've heard, our journeys towards realizing that we needed to take care of ourselves started at different places and for different reasons. But wherever they started from, they all led to the same thing: knowing how to take care of yourself and knowing that self is a unique being, a unique standalone individual. As much as there are solutions that cover a wide range of things, the way it applies to you is different. The way you're going to apply it, the way you're going to incorporate it into your own lifestyle isn't going to be the same way everybody else is going to do it. But rest assured that if you do it and it works for you, that's the way to go about it. So here at Self-Nurture Culture, we really look at not dealing with the underlying symptoms, but looking for the root cause of ailment. Because it's good enough taking care of the symptoms, but that's just a patch over, panabita work. You're not opening the bonnet. You're not seeing what's really going on. You need to do that. If not, the problem is going to keep reoccurring. And the more it reoccurs, the more deadly and dangerous it's going to be to the body that it's inhabiting. We also help people change their habits. We do mental work for people, which covers a wide range of emotional things and helping you drop unwanted habits and behaviors and helping you incorporate useful behaviors. I'll let Tolu speak a bit more on that one.
Oh yeah, thank you. Like I mentioned before, our personal habits, our daily, everyday habits, those patterns, those behavioral patterns that we do every day, they equate into our lifestyle. Your lifestyle is a direct result of the quality of life you have. So if you're ill, you're ailing, it's because you live a lifestyle that leads to that. And if you have a lifestyle that leads to that, you have habits that. So we help you break these habits, reestablish new habits. And I know, people must have heard about changing habits and being so hard and so tedious. And we reassure you that we are behavioral engineers as well as nutritionists. And as behavioral engineers, we help you change those behaviors on the inside. It's not about hard work. Sometimes it's simply about reprogramming your mind. And we show you how. We run courses. We run practitioner courses for coaches, showing you how not just to do this for yourself, but for people around you. We do, things like smoking cessation. We do chocolate craving. Anyone that has any kind of cravings. We do things that, please inquire for more things, but we do things like this. But after all this, we bring everything into alignment. So, you want to be well, but you're unwell at the moment, or you could be, healthier. Certain habits just need to be added to your routine. You just need to change those habits, change your lifestyle, and get a better quality of life. And we'll show you how to do this in detail. We'll actually run webinars on this as well. And we'll be running another webinar because we can't go into this whole talk without mentioning COVID, because that's the climate that we're in. Most of the people that are listening to us today are most really listening because their awareness of health has heightened because of the state of the world today. So we will be doing something on COVID. We'll be showing, because we have helped people. We've helped people who have been certified COVID, been to the hospital twice, and whatnot. So anyone, and we are offering free COVID advice. So anybody that gets any kind of COVID symptoms or whatever, please get in touch with us. That won't cost you anything. We'll just tell you what to do and what to get. And we've helped quite a few people. So be rest assured there are everyday solutions out there for people. Please don't buy into the fear. So if anybody has anything else that they'd like to ask, any questions about what we do, what we offer, we will be sending some of our brochures out. Please share them with other people if you find it helpful. And we'll be covering various topics, and we'll be sending out the topics that we'll be covering over the year to the group as well. So, Emma, anything else? Does anybody have any other question? If not,
inquiries, how you can get in touch with us.
And one more thing, someone mentioned, please share details of your website and social media pages. Yeah, so Mo, please put up a link for our website again and social media pages. I wanted to go back to Uncle Jimmy's question about juices for re-energizing. Now, first things first, I want to point out, when you go into some of our protocols generally are high on the elimination process, because we have a lot of gunk stuck in there from way back when. So we're high on the elimination process. However, the elimination process can be tiring. When people go to the bathroom, you've heard when you drink something and you say, "Oh, I was going to the bathroom all night. I'm exhausted." You're exhausted because you were going through and probably are still going through what would be a detox period. So it wasn't like you drank something. It's when the high alkalinity meets some acidity. Sometimes they're tummy bugs, but more often than not, people just get these things. But now it is draining. We do have certain herbs and plants that we recommend that adaptogens that help you adhere to the stress of the detox process. So we have a few things that we do recommend that help you go through those. But like Malolu mentioned before, just go on to juices. Just go straight into juices. Add a few dates into that, and your energy levels will balance nicely. But if you do find yourself a lot more drained than that, make sure you up your magnesium. Yeah, might want to get some magnesium supplements, but you get most of your magnesium from chlorophyll. So if you get some chlorophyll, that might help boost your energy levels as well. So Malolu's just put up our Twitter account and our website. So if you click those links, it will take you to and our Instagram. Yes, and so click those links, and so that you'll be aware of our posts, when we're doing any kind of events, and if there's anything else coming up, we'll let you know. And over the year, we'll be hosting some doctors and some healers and some different types of practitioners of healing around the world for you guys to learn more from. Some of the people that we've learned from, some of the people that we're still learning from, and we hope that you guys can share these experiences and learn from these people too. So, Emma, if you'd like to round up.
Okay, so at this point, I would like to tell everybody, these are the few pointers I'll say about introducing yourself to self-nurture culture. It's adamant that you stay hydrated, especially in this period we are. In this period of COVID, yeah, very well done. In this period of COVID where if you've read anything on how the virus is meant to work, I'll tell you this. If you're dehydrated, you leave yourself so much more susceptible to it. Your throat, your nose, make sure you stay hydrated. On one of the groups I'm on, somebody put something yesterday and I was like, yes, I don't believe I've not been telling people to do this. Wash your nose. Take some sea salt, add it into some water, and literally sniff it in. And sniff it in till it drops into your mouth. That's the only way you know that whole airway, that whole nasal passage is clean. The first time you do this, it will sting. I'm not going to lie about that. The first time you do it, it'll sting. Your nose will drip for about 30 minutes, but you'll feel so much better for days. Make sure
I've been on It's like being on the beach, because the sea salt is rich in antihistamines. So, and sometimes, like, if you've ever been on the beach and gotten some beach water up your nose, and it's a really cleansing thing to do, and it keeps pathogens and viruses and colds away.
Yes, that is spot on. That is spot on. The other thing I'll say is make sure you have some time of abstinence from food. So everybody's lifestyle is different, but make sure there's at least a 12-hour period every other day when you're not consuming any kind of food. Don't get me wrong, drink your juices, drink your teas, but make sure your, what we like to call tummy chewing, is not going on, which means your body is not having to digest your intestines from your stomach, from your mouth, all the way to your stomach, is not having to process any kind of food, any kind of solid food. By all means, during this period, drink your liquids, not too much sugars, please, not too much processed and artificial sugars. I know there's this little confusion about fructose, people saying fructose is sugar. Fructose is fruit sugar. Fruit sugar is good for you on every level. Artificial sugar is not. So those are two very different things we have to differentiate. So other than that, stay hydrated, clean your airwaves, and stay away from food every now and again. Let's call that your introduction to self-care. Tolu, is there anything you'd like to add?
Just know that we're here for you guys. If you have any questions, if you have any, because, these are very, very serious times where people really have to pay attention to their health. So stay, our motto at Self-Nurture Culture is no blockage. We're made out of tubes and pipes. Our tummy stays unblocked. Our noses stay unblocked. Once there's no blockage, that means there's air flowing everywhere. If there's air flowing everywhere, it's an indication of alkalinity. Viruses can't live there if there's no environment for it to live in. So I love everybody, and I want you guys to all stay healthy and enjoy the year with everybody else.
So, beautiful people, keep being beautiful and stay healthy, and we'll talk again soon. Take care of yourselves.
And Happy New Year!
Bye for now.
So people, remember, take the space, take the time to keep you and yourself wonderful and beautiful, so we can all be wonderfully beautiful together. From your wellness partners, S.N.C.